In this video, there are 8 things you should know about caffeine that most of us probably don't even know. We all know we love coffee, and it is without a question one of the primary requirements for our daily routine optimum efficiency. Without coffee, our life would not be simple. Caffeine is the molecule present in coffee, primarily responsible for mental alertness and feeling good and energized. Caffeine helps us to be in a good position in completing work requirements, whether that would be work, project, or even simple activities which need a better or optimum mental alertness. So here are 8 things you should know. Number 1. Coffee, formerly known as caffeine. The chemical formula for caffeine is 1,3,7-trimethylxanthine, and when ingested it breaks down into paraxanthine, which is about 84%, theobromine, which is about 12%, and the rest 4% is theophylline. The stimulation in the central nervous system is caused by paraxanthine, and on the other hand theobromine is milder, but it dilates the blood vessels and increases urination, while theophylline dilates the airways in your lungs. When coffee or caffeine is ingested, it is completely absorbed in the gut and liver metabolizes the caffeine, and that is where it breaks down. Number 2. Caffeine is a natural alkaloid found in coffee beans, tea leaves, cocoa leaves, cola nuts, and other plants. Depending on the particular plant where the beans are extracted do vary in proportion, mostly between paraxanthine and theobromine. Caffeine is also found in many beverages and is also found in many modern medicines too. Number 3. Caffeine causes neural excitation in the brain, which stimulates the pituitary gland as an emergency, causing the adrenal glands to release adrenaline, which is also primarily responsible for the pre-fight or flight response. So having more than 4 cups of coffee or more than 400 mg/day increases your adrenaline, therefore increases your heart rate, pumping more oxygen to the bloodstream, and your eye's pupil gets dilated. Also, having more caffeine in a day would cause you to dehydrate more and lead to frequent urination. Long-term use of caffeine under stressful conditions causes the adrenal glands to release another molecule called cortisol, causing glucose spike in your bloodstream. So if you found yourself having more caffeine than usual under stressful situations daily, do check up and regulate the usage of coffee. Number 4. If you are regular in taking coffee, make sure that the intake of coffee should be offset from waking up from the bed approximately 2 hours. There are 2 reasons why you should implement it. First, when implemented, would allow the body to perform necessary regular body functions naturally without consuming coffee. Second, it delays the caffeine crash and gets offset. When caffeine passes through the blood-brain barrier to the brain, caffeine molecules rivals and fights and punches the molecule adenosine away from the adenosine receptors in the brain. Adenosine is an organic compound which acts on the adenosine receptors in the brain, which increases or decreases cellular concentration of a molecule called cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Caffeine blocks the adenosine receptors and competitively inhibits the action of adenosine. According to the adenosine levels, it tells the system when to be effective and productive and when to be taking some rest for the body. If the adenosine concentration is high in the brain, it signals the brain to work and process slowly and lets the body be fatigued. But if the adenosine concentration is low in the brain, it signals the brain to be alert and awake and improves the cognitive process. That's why you are more alert and awake and feel full of energy when you drink caffeine. So when offset by 2 hours, the body would not reach the caffeine crash stage, most likely before 5 p.m. or 1700 hours. This would not hamper the routines in the daytime, which is where most people work for long hours. Number 5. If you look at the history of how caffeine was discovered, it was discovered in 1819 by a German analytical chemist Friedrich Ferdinand Runge and supported by famous German chemist J. W. Dobereiter. Although caffeine was discovered in 1819, coffee was known to the people of the world right from the 15th century. Do you know the story? There is a story of a goat herder in the Ethiopian plateau who noted that while his goats were eating berries from a small-looking tree, they were full of energy, alert, and for lengthy periods of time, they didn't take a rest or sleep. So the herder took a bunch of berries from the trees and brought them to the head of the local monastery at that time, made a drink for the both of them and made them more energized and alert and improved their mental cognitive skills. From there, as time moved on, the coffee drink got spread quickly to Europe and eventually to many other parts of the world. Number 6. Most people know that caffeine increases the dopamine levels, but that's not the only case. Dopamine molecule is a neurotransmitter, and what caffeine does is not only increase the dopamine levels, but it increases the sensitivity of dopamine receptors in your brain. The blocking of adenosine receptors from the adenosine by caffeine directly affects the other neurotransmitters also, such as serotonin, glutamate, etc. Number 7. Caffeine also shrinks or constricts the blood flow to the blood vessels from the brain to the heart, and the rest also makes the heartbeat faster, as caffeine directly releases a bunch of awakening hormones to the system. Caffeine, in making the mind be more alert and awake with slight increase in heart rate, can also make you feel down and therefore increase your anxiety if allowed the mind to interact with negative thoughts and thinking about negative situations. Last. Number 8. If you are having filter coffee, more than 7 or more may lead to slight increase in cholesterol levels. According to some recent studies, it is not caffeine that increases cholesterol levels, but cafestyl, caweol, and 2-diterpenoid alcohols found at significant levels in boiled coffee made by using packets of filter coffee has been identified as hypercholesterolemic components. Most of these components are largely trapped by the use of paper filters when preparing coffee, and it won't be a problem if having 1 or 2 filtered coffee. So here are the 8 things that you should know about caffeine. I hope I made it clear and simple for you to understand. Give a thumbs up and do comment such that the YouTube algorithm will further reach more people who might be in need of this video, as it is crucial for people to be aware. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the bell icon for more content videos uploading soon.